How do you self coach to build resilience through fueling self motivation? Hi, I'm Coach Anika, and welcome to part three, the final check in of the three-part series on how to build resilience through self coaching, in which I'll share how to fuel motivation to improve competency with consistency in learning and growth. Entrepreneurs are in the driver's seat all the time. Whether you're a solopreneur or have a team that supports your entrepreneurial business, you have to show up every day as the driver that navigates the direction and charts out the route of your business. This requires strong mental and emotional flexibility, which I covered in episodes 42 and 43, check-ins on self-awareness and self-regulation. Do check them out if you missed them. Now, your self-awareness and self-regulation check-ins will help with the fears of facing whatever shows up on your entrepreneurial journey. There's a lot of new and unknown space that is going to be explored. But how do you ensure that you can enjoy stability in the momentum of your progress and growth with a consistent flow of motivation? Motivation does not drive action. Action drives motivation. When you act on something, you face your fears and overcome whatever limitations you believe you have to be in a new space. You enhance your competency. That's when you're motivated. And that's when you keep going back at it with consistency. It's like a game. If you have ever played a video or an online game, the thrill to keep winning levels and moving up to more challenging levels keeps you hooked to it, right? Level 100 is much harder than level 10. In fact, when you're doing level 10, you probably do not have enough of the competency skills that are required to pass level 100. The more you play the game and have to repeatedly try each level, the more you learn about the pitfalls to avoid and the strategies to move forward. The challenge improves with your competency of the game. And this happens with repeated and consistent attempts that are being made by you. In the same way, you want to treat the challenge at hand as a game to learn from, to improve your competency, and start with small steps, growing gradually and consistently as you get comfortable with the unknowns and the unexplored areas. Keep it exciting so you keep coming back to have the fun, and keep it challenging enough so that you don't lose interest or you get bored out of it. In order to gamify self-motivation, here are 3 practices that have helped me with every new challenge that I'm faced with. So the fearful overwhelm is replaced with bold resilience. Let's go through these. So practice number 1, passion versus obsession. You want to ensure that you are passionate about this new thing that you intend to explore, treating it as something that focuses on your progress today instead of the results of it in the future. If you're thinking from a place of obsession, the focus will be on the end results, and the stress of getting there will overshadow your journey of getting there. So it's going to overshadow your present, your today, when you're thinking and stressing about the tomorrow, which is not even in your control yet. Passion drives motivation through the learning and the growing for the long game. Obsession will propel you in the short term with excitement, but because it will drive you to only want to win, obstacles in the journey will feel draining. They'll give you a sense of failure, and they may stop you in the tracks to running the long game or the long marathon. So you want to be passionate about it, but not obsessive about it. Yeah. Practice number 2, your support environment in terms of the tools or the people or the physical space that you need in order to explore this new area that you're exploring, which is around the challenge that you need to overcome. You might have some new learning that is required, some tools that you need to learn, the physical possibility of gaining this new required learning. Have you got access to the support tools that you need in order to create or enhance your learning for this new skill or understanding that you need to have for this challenge? Ask yourself, how about the physical environment in terms of the people that can make this learning possible? Are there any advisors or mentors or support resources that can help you in making this learning journey accountable? Learning requires time, and this time that does not generate any sales or any revenue for today, but it is critical for driving the growth for tomorrow. So we have to create blocks of time to dedicate to the learning of all of the intangible benefits. And we have to require a sacrifice of blocks of time that may be typically reserved for personal or social engagements, your evening time, your weekends perhaps, your off days perhaps. Does your physical space have the boundaries for the time that you can commit to with your availability without feeling guilty on your personal relationships? These are the kind of questions you want to ask yourself in order to assess the support environment that you'll need in terms of the tools, the people, and the physical space. And lastly, practice number 3, reward and forgive. Challenging yourself with new things, overcoming the barriers and taking those steps forward, no matter how small they are, you want to recognize them. We always remember to celebrate the big wins, that end goal that we're trying to achieve, and we get so stressed about it also along our journey, but often overlook the little wins that helped us get there. So celebrate yourself for the little progress regularly. Schedule that me time for a cheat day or an experience, whether you want a frequency of a weekly check-in with yourself, a weekly celebration of the wins that you had, or the steps forward that you could take. Rewards give us validation. As entrepreneurs, we don't have bosses or companies that are going to give us any recognition. We must remember to recognize ourselves. Remember the video game? Nothing is stopping you from moving forward on tiny steps. On weeks that you feel that you haven't moved forward, don't be too hard on yourself. Assess what you can learn from not getting that desired result in the week that you didn't. Learning is knowledge, and knowledge is always about moving forward. Only when we are stopped do we have the opportunity to pause and to learn why, assess the situation, and see how can we change the strategy to move in the intended direction. Nothing's lost. Forgive yourself for not being able to move forward, but reward yourself on learning from it and start again. Reward yourself for the little wins to keep that momentum going. So let's recap. Self-motivation requires challenging yourself to higher levels of competency through a commitment to progressive learning with consistency. You want to gamify the challenge in your perception. Make the learning goals hard enough to not get bored, so a bit scary and exciting enough to enjoy. It has to feel like fun and not like a dragging task. You want to show up in that driver's seat every day. 3 practices that we covered that can help with gamifying to help self-motivation. Practice number 1, you want to be passionate and not obsessive. Tie yourself to the progress that you're making and not to the end result. Practice number 2, build your support structure. Protect it. Be disciplined about it. Ensure that you have access to the required tools for learning, the support of the people for guidance and accountability, and a clarity for yourself and those within your closest circle on the boundaries of the physical time and space that you can allow, so that you can manage the expectations on the side of your personal relationships, and you don't let it conflict with the phase of the learning that you want to commit your time to. Lastly, practice number 3, reward yourself and celebrate all the small wins. Be kind and forgiving to yourself on the hard weeks or the months, taking the learnings to move forward and leave behind the thoughts of the actions that limited your progress. Life is too short. Don't spend too much time mulling and brooding over the things that don't pan out. Rise above it by nurturing your self-awareness and strengthening your emotional grit. It will help you keep your momentum up on self-motivation. I hope you enjoyed this episode, which ends our 3-part series on self-coaching with the 3 tools that you should have in your toolkit as an entrepreneur to build resilience. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Rewrite Your Story. Until then, take care and stay awesome.